Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for participating in our first ever marathon in a month for both of our Team Los Angeles and Team Massachusetts. We sincerely enjoyed watching all of you participate in your various ways with both the distance that you chose, as well as the creative ways that you set to achieve your goals and even fundraised. Seeing the photos and posts in our private Facebook group was really amazing too. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, you inspire us all every day. And by participating and using the hashtag Sweat to Stop Suicide, we know that we've really elevated our voices in suicide prevention and awareness, and that all of you help to save lives. In a little bit, we're going to interview two of our participants, one from Team LA, one from Team Massachusetts. And I know that their stories are very powerful, so we wanted to give them the stage for a moment to share their stories and share with you what participating in this event meant for them. But before we get to those interviews, we wanted to also just give you some stats and some shout outs, which we will also put at the end of this closing and also send you in a wrap-up email. So Jess, let's hear your stats.
Okay, well, Team Massachusetts, there is no doubt that you truly showed up to Sweat to Stop Suicide. So I want to give a shout out to the top fundraisers in each of our categories. So for the 5K, we have Ariana from Miami, Florida, who raised $1,800. In the 10K, we have Sarah from Rochester, Massachusetts, who raised $675. In our half marathon category, Laura from Plymouth, Mass, who raised $1,701. And then our marathon category, the amazing Olivia from Westwood, Mass, who raised $8,410. And in the other distance category, which was that special category, we have Jen from Taunton, Mass, who raised $10,937. Way to go to all of our category fundraisers. I do want to give a special shout out to 3 other individuals who may not have been top in their categories, but were still top fundraisers overall. And that's Sam from Team Sweaty Paws, who raised $4,110. David from Step Stride Ride to Stop Suicide, who raised $3,248. And Maggie, who raised $2,500. So thank you again to everybody who fundraised. As you know, our initial goal was $10,000. That seems like such a long time ago. And today we have we're closing in at $65,000. We could not have done this without our teams. So again, a special shout out to our top teams, Sweaty Paws, Katie by Design, and 73 for number 73. So thank you again. So let's hear from LA team.
All right, well, we did really great as well. I want to thank you all. I know we started out with $10,000 as well, and we also had to raise our goal. And so thank you all for everything that you did. I want to acknowledge our top participants in each category as well. We have Nicholas Katsunis from Brooklyn, New York, in the 5K category. In the 10K category, we had Often Washburn from Thousand Oaks, California. In the marathon category, we had Matt Magana from Los Angeles, California. And in the other distance, we had Katie Pfeiffer Poland from Newbury Park, California. I also want to acknowledge our top fundraisers and our top teams as well. So for our top fundraisers, Matt Magana was also our top overall fundraiser. Great job, Matt. And he came in with $2,895. We had Beth Flax with $1,407. We have Guadalupe Aguilar with $1,360 and Valerie Kovakovich with $1,025, as well as Lucia Luminix with $880. So great job to all those top fundraisers. And then for our top teams, we had Breakin' Records, woo, which we had $2,984. We had the Proud Panther Professionals P3 with $2,340. In Memory of Danny and Rudy, which was $1,360. Peloton Power with $1,025. And Brave for Bailey, which had almost $500. So thank you, everyone, once again.
Well, I don't know about you, Louisa, but that's a lot of numbers. And I think that's what's so special about this event is it was truly about the numbers and not just fundraising. We had 174 participants across both teams who completed over 7,000 miles. And together we've raised around $80,000. I can't say, personally, I've been part of a lot of events over the years with my AFSP, but this one in particular stands out as just extra special. And it's truly because of our participants. I think we all found a unique connection through sharing our stories, finding a new community. Many of our participants had big goals, lofty goals, and achieved those over the 4 weeks. And others are still pushing hard to complete them. So no matter where you are in your journey, just thank you for being part of this event. And I hope that you are already thinking about what we can do together again next year, because there's no doubt that we will be back. I mean, what other event brings together walkers, bikers, runners, mountain bikers together for one shared event? So we weren't sure what to expect when we first launched this event, but we sure did surpass any and all expectations. And you showed us that this is something that is needed for each other, for our communities across the nation. The funds raised will go towards our national and local efforts in advocacy, prevention, education, support for survivors of suicide loss, as well as continuing to make a difference in our communities to make them safer, decrease stigma, and decrease statistics around suicide. So the question is, should we make this an annual event? Absolutely. And will you join us again next year? We sure hope so. Although things may look different next year, we hope to transition to being more in person, doing more meetups. We still think this is an event that will bring together people across the nation in a way that no other one can. So I know you all have been waiting for the special moment for the reveal of our medals. They are amazing. So again, remember that if you raised $500, you'll be getting this medal in the mail. And what makes this really unique is, again, you can detach this little charm here from the medal and provide it to someone who may be struggling, or you just want to tell them more about the organization. It does have not only our web address, but it's also on the back. There you go, it detaches. Has the text line where you can text 741-741 to get connected to the crisis text line. So a really unique thing for everybody that raised at least $500. So now we're going to hear from 2 participants, but we also want to hear from all of you. So make sure you email us, provide us feedback, continue to post in that Facebook group. We will keep the Facebook group open until we have details about next year. So while we won't be posting as regularly as we have over the past 4 weeks, we encourage you to still share about your journey. And wherever that takes you, whether you decide to do another half marathon or another 300 miles, Jen, we hope you will keep us included and updated. So thank you again for being part of Marathon in a Month.
Hello, my name is Matthew Magana. I am the team captain for the Team LA AFSP team for Marathon in a Month. And today I have the honor and the pleasure of having one of our longest time runners with Team LA for the LA Marathon and Marathon in a Month now, Guadalupe Aguilar, with me. And we wanted to just ask Guadalupe a few questions about her experience with Marathon in a Month. Guadalupe, good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning, Matt. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my information or my story. And yes, my name is Guadalupe Aguilar, and I didn't know that I was one of the longest runners for AFSP for the LA Marathon, but it's an honor to be part of this organization. For me, it was part of my journey to work on myself and to get the message out about. At that time, it was just losing one brother to suicide, and that was my brother Danny. He was 37, and that was in February of 2010. And then I unfortunately lost a second brother to suicide in January of 2016. My brother Rudy, and he was 48.
Yes, wow, powerful story. Thanks for sharing. But yes, I believe 2014 was the first year that AFSP had a team for the LA Marathon, and you were a part of that. And yes. So you are officially the longest continual runner with the team. So we really appreciate you and just everything you bring. And you just consistently showing up for yourself, first of all, most importantly, in your family, but also for the team and for the cause, and to raise awareness for suicide prevention and mental health awareness. So it's such an honor to have you here with us. And this year, I believe, was your highest grossing fundraising year, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
wow. Yay.
Good job. Yeah. I think last time I checked, you were over 1250, or you were somewhere in there. You were.
Yes, right now I'm at 1250, and I'm still waiting for some offline donations that were mailed. So it's going to go up a little bit more. So I was really excited about that.
Yeah. The fundraising part is really tough, and it depends a lot on just everybody else in our network and what they can offer us. But it was really cool to see you just explode out of the gate and really just do a really good job with the fundraising as well. So congrats on that. That feels good. It feels good to have people supporting. So just wanted to, ask a couple questions about the Marathon in a Month experience.
Sure.
And you kind of touched on it, but, why did you actually participate in Marathon in a Month with us this year?
I think one of the most important reasons why I participated is looking at the difficult year that we had with 2020 with COVID-19, and there was such isolation within communities that I started looking at numbers in terms of mental health issues on the rise, suicide on the rise. And so for me to say that I didn't want to participate was not even a question. I knew that I wanted to participate because I knew that my message is important. One, because I am Latina, I'm a person of color, and in the Latino community, there's still a huge stigma about mental health, or even having a conversation about mental health issues.
Yes. Yes. And that, I think, touches on the power of your story and you continually showing up. Not only is your individual story unbelievably powerful and touching, but the fact on top of that you're a female Latino, you're a Latina in a community where the stigma around mental health is still so heavy and so strong.
Mm-hmm.
So every person that can hear your story, it can really change their paradigm concerning mental health. So
yes,
it's just every time, you speak, there's somebody out there who needs to hear it. So we really appreciate you.
and I like that you mentioned that, because I think that the main reason that I do this is that if they see my face and they look like me, or even any other person of color, and they see that I'm okay to share my story, let's say that they're struggling, then maybe they'll go out and they'll maybe start with a friend, and then continue to look for assistance, whether it be professionally or with a group. But the point is to make that connection. And if I can make that connection with one person, then I feel that I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm advocating for those that I lost and advocating for those who are struggling every day.
Absolutely. And that's it, is anytime we can share our story, there's always somebody out there who is struggling with a loss or struggling themselves, who just needs to hear it. And then we can start that domino effect of them speaking about their situation, them seeking help, and then passing that on to their friends and being support for others. So it's very powerful.
Right.
Now, the Marathon in a Month, it was a pretty unique event. The first time us doing that, combining with the Massachusetts chapter, which was so fun. How was the support with the community, with us teaming up with them? How was that for you?
Well, in terms of the support that I received, of course, my family knows the story. My family knows what I've been through and how I struggled in the beginning with this issue. So I've had the backing from my close family, and I have very, very close friends who I rely on to, give me that donation. And not only that, I love the fact that you can also connect your story and use that stream for Facebook. And then even people that are my coworkers were sending me donations because I've shared my story with them too. So it's a wider audience, and it gives you an opportunity to share it. And then a lot of my friends, what they'll do is when I share a message, they'll share my link to some of their friends, and I get some donations from there. So it's a trickle effect. So I've received so much support from both family, friends, colleagues, knowing that mental health is a very important issue, and it's a topic that we need to be talking about every day because it's as important as your physical health.
Absolutely, yeah, and yeah, Facebook fundraiser is huge. It just makes it quick and easy for people to donate if they choose to do so, and also share, like you said, which is the power of social media and Facebook. You know, a friend sees it, shares the link, their network sees it, and on and on. Um, so, how did that support from your coworkers and their networks? How did that help motivate you through the event?
And like I think what you said was key is that in the beginning you're a little nervous about getting to a certain amount, right? Because you want to set your goal as I wanted to start with 500, but then I thought about it. I said I think I can raise 1,000. So I put it out there. I said my goal is $1,000. Any amount that you can donate is greatly appreciated. And lo and behold, I just started getting donations from everyone. So I was a little nervous about the goal, but before I knew it, I was already at $980, and 2 more weeks I was already at my goal. It was pretty easy.
Good, yeah, good to hear. I know because there's times where no, you really won't get much. You won't get too many donations, and it could be a little bit frustrating. But and I also think on top of that, you continually sharing your story the way you do and how powerfully you do.
Hmm.
There's people out there who may not be able to donate right now, or
Right.
may not reach out to you, but that are seeing it and it's helping them. So just wanted to thank you again for all you do, sharing your story, stepping into your power, and being the face for Latinas going through any sort of mental health issue, and knowing that it's all right for them to not be okay, and for them to reach out, that there's resources out there, and that they're not alone, and that there's other folks like them going through it, and that there's a community out here for them too. So
Right. I think that's very important. Just connecting to communities of color, connecting to my own story, and being honest about my struggles. I think that's very important. Being very candid about not wanting to talk about how my first brother passed. I didn't even say that he had died by suicide. It's saying that I went through some mental health issues where I broke down. It's being very honest, very open, and unfortunately, I became a part of this club that I didn't want to be a part of. But why am I going to sit there in darkness when I know that my voice carries power, and that power is to share my story and to talk about mental health and make it not an uncomfortable conversation? Why does it have to be an uncomfortable conversation? It should be a part of our daily lives. We see that everyone has a mental health issue. It doesn't matter whether it's a small issue, it's a big issue, but every day somebody out there is struggling. And if I can make that difference in one person's life, then I'm doing what I need to do and not stay in silence.
yes, indeed. So powerful. Yes. It really is. It's, you know, acknowledging that, yes, he died by suicide. And, at the beginning, it's something we want to kind of skim over because it was so uncomfortable for us. And we were going through our own, grief, but it's so powerful to say that. And, died by suicide, like you and Rich mentioned earlier, not
Exactly.
committed, because I think that helps us, or that makes people focus on the way they passed instead of the way they lived. Right.
Right.
So,
And
yes.
that's a very important message. I always try to make that point that it is, yes, die by suicide, not commit suicide, because then you take away from their pain, you take away from what they were going through, whoever was in that pain and what led them to that final decision, right? So for them, it was just years of not being able to talk about it. And for me not to talk about it, then I'm not honoring their pain, and I'm not sharing what happened in my family. And if I can avoid another family from going through what our family has experienced, not just one, but two brothers, then I feel that I'm on the right path to share this information, to share who I am, that I am vulnerable, that I have my days. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna stay, like I said, I'm not gonna drown in the pain. I'm gonna swim above.
And that's exactly what you're doing, my friend. And it's just fantastic to see you doing that, your story from the beginning, working through both of those losses and becoming such the powerful voice you are in our community. And acknowledging that, hey, not every day is going to be great, but I know that, and I'm going to work through those days and ask for help if I need it. So I love that metaphor of swimming above the water, and above the turbulence underneath the water. So
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
and that's the key. I think
yeah,
checking on yourself is the most important thing that I've learned to do, and being honest with yourself. How am I today? Am I okay? If I'm not okay, that's fine. We will get there. And like I said, I will never recover from the loss of my two brothers. I've learned to navigate that pain, to be the voice that they lost, and to be the voice of so many that are suffering in all communities of color and all communities, period.
yeah, and it's a pretty beautiful alchemization or transformation to turn that deep pain into purpose and bringing hope to others. So you're doing it marvelously, and thank you so much. It's just so great to always connect and hear you and continue to be this voice in our community, and to continue to share our stories and raise awareness, because our jobs are never going to be done, and our lives are never going to be the same. And we're part of this club that nobody ever wants to be a part of, but now we have a lifetime membership. So it's an honor to be in this club with you, my friend.
Likewise, and I appreciate your partnership, and I think one of the main incentives was for me was to that really cool medal. I really like that medal. That was like, oh, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that medal.
I was
So
thinking about that last night. I can't wait to get my medal in the mail.
so I kept looking. I said, okay, I'm gonna sign up because I like that medal. So that was one of my incentives was to get that really cool swag.
Yeah, for sure. So
But
thank
I appreciate you also sharing your story and being very honest as well, Matt, with your own personal journey and to where you're at now. So, and the best thing I think is meeting people that have similar stories, and you don't feel alone. You don't feel that you're alone, because when it first happens, you do feel like you're the only one that is going through this, and it takes a while for you to understand that there are other people who have gone through similar stories and feel lost. And I felt lost for many, many years. And finding the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention for me has been phenomenal. It's been my lifesaver, and it's just giving me purpose and a direction and a voice to share this story.
Yeah, same with me. It's been a life changer for me, and I'm very grateful to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention for the work they do and providing a platform for people like yourself and me
Mhm.
to heal and to grow and to work through our grief, and to eventually, be the voice and bring hope to others. Um, so yeah, it's been quite a ride, but it's just the beginning. It feels like so.
Yes, there's still so much more work that needs to be done. There's still so much stigma around the issue of mental health. And of course, the media is now getting a little better about sharing these stories and connecting a community and saying the right word, die by suicide. But, again, you don't see it highlighted unless it's someone who's famous who has died by suicide. So you and I, and the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, we need to continue to make this a conversation that everyone can talk about, that doesn't feel embarrassed or doesn't feel shame. I think that is the biggest thing, not to feel shame that you are sad or that you are struggling. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm struggling.
Right. No, absolutely not. It's okay to not be okay.
Exactly.
Guadalupe, thank you so much. I think that's going to do it for the Marathon in the Month wrap-up interview with Team LA, our longest running Team LA member, Guadalupe Aguilar. Thank you so much again. It's been such a pleasure, and congrats on your fundraising and getting that 26 miles in, and just everything you do. It's again, it's an honor to have you with us and have you continue to join us for these events.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Matt. I really appreciate your time. And yes, we will continue to share our stories, and we will continue to advocate for mental health issues. Have a wonderful day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Nunes. I'm one of the captains for Team Massachusetts for Marathon in a Month, and I am also on the board of AFSP Massachusetts. I'm our secretary and our co-fundraising chair. And today with us, we have Jasmine Lees from Team Massachusetts. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us and participating in our event. So we just have a few questions for you about your participation in the event, our mission moments, and just, maybe some kind of further exciting things that we could do with this type of event in the future. So I guess to start, what brought you to Marathon in a Month or the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention?
Well, so last year, almost a year ago, I lost my grandmother to suicide. And before that, I knew a couple people who had experience with this, but I had never really been involved in anything. Actually, I have a really good friend who has done a lot of fundraising for AFSP. But in October, my whole entire family did like a day walk type of thing. And so that's what really got me started. And then I saw Marathon in a Month. And because I've always been an athlete with soccer and running and all that, I was like, this is perfect. My mom, my grandmother, who was always proud of my athletic accomplishments and everything. So I was like, this would be a great way to honor her, keep me in shape and everything too. So that's why I really decided to jump into it.
Awesome. Yeah, what a great way to kind of have some connection to things that meant a lot to her and to you and for the cause. How was the experience overall for you participating in Marathon in a Month? I happily saw a ton of your pictures on our Facebook page, but if you want to tell us a little about the experience.
Yeah, so like I said, it kept me in great shape, and I had a lot of friends, like other teammates and even my dad who did it with me too, who was running or walking with me. So I kind of had to drag my boyfriend out on the run sometimes because he's not a big runner, but he was a trooper. So yeah, it was really fun. And I think I had a lot of family members who were kind of like amazed that like I was doing it. And I was like, I mean, you can do it too. You don't have to run. You can come out and walk or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great. Do you think this event kind of brought some awareness to maybe friends and family about AFSP for you, even despite kind of living in our fully virtual world right now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I did a fundraiser back in October, but that I don't know, that was more so like it was so soon after the event, so it was really kind of just people who were close to us who were participating and knew about it. But I was able to bring in like my team and a lot of friends into it, and my family actually made these bracelets. You probably can't see them, but it says Nancy's Pod on it, and then her saying with all my heart and soul. So every time somebody donated or joined the team, I would give them a bracelet.
Awesome.
Just to kind of include them in our journey and to try and spread the awareness too.
Yeah, that's really amazing. And to think like they could be wearing that bracelet out and someone will ask them about it. And then it just starts that conversation, and it really helps, work towards breaking the stigma and just normalizing the conversation about mental health.
Definitely.
Being a college student and as someone who works in a college, do you feel that like an event like this was kind of conducive to college students or a way to get college students involved in talking about it?
I think so. like I said, I had a friend who's kind of been involved with this stuff a little longer than I have. And since my experience, we've talked about different fundraising events or activities we could do at our school, especially since we're both on the soccer team. We were thinking, oh, maybe we can organize a big school 5K or do some like fundraisers during a soccer game or something like that too. So we've definitely had some conversations about it.
That's great. That's so good to hear, especially being one of, it's one of the highest causes of death for people in college and young adults. And we know college is a tough time. So I think raising that awareness and finding people on campus too, of just kind of being, I'm someone you can talk to. So kind of back to the event, because I could easily go on a tangent about all of that. But and you talked about the support you've received from your friends and your family, but you were pretty active in our Facebook page. So what did you think of kind of the Marathon in a Month community as a whole, since we are Massachusetts and we have LA? How was that for you?
It was really amazing. Like, I thought it was interesting because some people posted like where they were walking, and I was like, wait a minute, like I live like 20 minutes away from there. That's like, you never realize how close you are to people who are like going through the same stuff as you. And it was really comforting to kind of see that like I knew I wasn't the only person going through stuff like this, but just like being part of the community like that brings a lot of comfort and everything like that. And then I started off, my goal was to do, just a marathon, 26.2. But then I saw people putting, I'm going to do 300 miles. I'm going to do 100 miles or whatever. And I was like, I'm going to do 63. That was my grandmother's age. So I'm going to do more. Everybody else is doing more. So I'm going to do more.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because the world is opening back up, essentially. I guess that's how we could say it. And to think like, for me, I know personally, this was such a cool way to connect to LA and to, be able to do something. And so would you, even if we were kind of more in person, but kind of the virtual connection with, people across the country, is this something you'd consider doing again?
Oh, absolutely. If whether it was virtual or if there was like virtual, but then one in-person 5K event or something, I would definitely like do it again.
Awesome. So if you could, this is like one of my favorite kind of things to ask, have a tagline about Marathon in a Month, or just a few words, no more than 5. Like I always call it like my quick elevator 1-floor pitch. How would you describe the event as a whole to you? This is a hard one.
Yeah, it is. Because right away I'm thinking the Sweat to Stop Suicide. That was my whole hashtag the whole time, but you guys already came up with that.
I mean, you can use it.
Gosh, I don't know. This might be a good time to pause so I can think for a second.
Or I guess, how would you kind of just maybe overall the impact it had on you? If you had to, say in just a few words, like how coming out of the event.
I feel like I made a difference with this event because this is how I know how to like insert myself into things through exercise and just really being active.
Great. I like it. So you made a difference. See, you have the tagline. We had to get there. And I think, you hit a really important part. Mental health is just as important as physical health, and they go hand in hand. I know, going out for a run or for a walk myself, like brings me back into a better place and it's a way to kind of connect. And so we cannot thank you enough. You rocked fundraising. You rocked, just the social media piece. We are excited to have your energy and, kind of going forward as part of AFSP. And we hope you'll join us again for Marathon in a Month. But thank you so much for everything. If you have any kind of parting words or, any like last burning thoughts that you want to share with us, now is your time.
No, I think that's all good.
Hey, you could say Sweat to Stop Suicide.
Yeah, Sweat to Stop Suicide. Let's keep it going.
Right, perfect.
I'm still running, so.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jasmine, and thank you for just everything and helping us break the stigma and normalizing the conversation and, saving lives and bringing hope to those affected by suicide, because we are a community that needs each other, and there's other people out there that hopefully we can help not need us, but maybe they will, and then we can be there when they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you.